Hello, my name is Dorica. I am Soul Remembrance Activator who support you in expanding your receiving capacity through identity recalibration and energetics embodiment. In this video, we are going to talk about something that is quietly determine how much you are able to receive in your life, not your strategy. Not your talent, not your effort, but your perspectives at thresholds. Because understand this first. Energy. Everything is energy. And energy does not respond to what you say you want. Energy responds to what your body feels safe to receive. Energy responds to what your energy system signal is safe to receive. Your perspective at a threshold create this signal. And this signal determines whether your energy flows or whether your energy is stagnant or whether your energy stabilizes. Perspective is not just how you see things. It's not mental. Perspective is actually your vibrational positioning because every time your life ready for expansion, receiving more money, more love, you will encounter a threshold, your threshold, and who you are when you encounter this threshold determines whether expansion enters into your life, into your energetic home, or expansion get unconsciously rejected without you even knowing you have just said no to your own expansion. So this video is to empower you, to guide you, so that once you are able to identify your own threshold, you can stop limiting your receiving and start expanding your receiving naturally. So, what is a threshold? A threshold is the age of your expansion. It's the age of your current identity. It is the age when something new wants to arrive, but at the same time, it stretches your capacity. More money, a new relationship, or a deeper relationship, being seen, more responsibility, more peace. And every time you want to expand into more love, more abundance, and your system will ask, is this safe? And your perspective answer that question. The threshold is that moment. Life expands beyond your current identity because there are 3 ways you can respond at this threshold. Now, when you encounter your threshold, there's a contraction, there is the activated expansion, or neutrality at the threshold. So actually, there are 3 ways you can respond to your own threshold. Contraction at the threshold, first response. Second response, striving or activated expansion at the threshold. Third, neutrality at the threshold. And here is the interesting part. Each response creates a different outcome. It is your nervous system response at your own threshold that determines whether you shrink, you strive, or you stabilize. So what is contraction at the threshold? Contraction at the threshold is when your system interprets expansion as threat, as danger. So, how do you know when you are contraction at the threshold? You may hear voices or having thoughts like this. This is too much. I'm not ready. What if I lose this? This will change everything. I might fail. People might judge me. When you interpret expansion as threat, something very specific happens in your field. Energetically, your body tightens, your breath becomes shallow, your heart subtly closes, your nervous system shifts towards protection. Energetically, your energy flow compresses. You start protecting yourself from expansion. You overthink. You delay. You underestimate yourself. You subtly self-sabotage. Here, receiving becomes unsafe. Feel contraction. Your energy feel contract. Your body contract. And then you have those thoughts. Is it safe? What if I fail? People may judge me. Let me delay it. So, here are all the self-protection thoughts that actually limiting your energy flow. Receiving become unsafe. Your energy field start contracting under these thoughts at this threshold. And your energy field contraction creates micro resistance, micro doubt, micro control, micro avoidance. Notice it is micro. That's why it is so subtle that you don't even know, because it may sound so logical. And so even if you consciously try to receive, but yet your energy field signaling reduce, protect, contain, then even you say you want more, you are ready to receive, it can't flow in. It's not that you don't want expansion, it's that your identity currently hasn't expanded to hold your expansion, your perspective at this contraction threshold protects your old identity. So when you encounter a threshold and you have these thoughts, this is too much, people may judge, let me delay. Identify that you are at threshold. And your system is just protecting you, protecting your identity. And this perspective at this contraction threshold limit your receiving, because you cannot hold what your nervous system interprets as danger. Your body just doesn't feel safe to receive. Contraction shrinks your receiving capacity. Your body tense. Your field contract. Your thoughts are even leading to your energy field contraction. So all this tightness, contraction is compressing your energy flow, and this naturally shrinks your receiving capacity. No matter how much you say you're ready to receive, no matter how much you say what you want to receive, your system is just not ready to receive. Your system just don't feel safe to receive. And this is why managing your contraction actually limit your receiving. The second response, striving and activated expansion. Now, activated expansion is different because you feel uncomfortable when you're at this threshold, but now you interpret this stretch as growth. So instead of contracting, instead of compressing, actually your field is open. So actually, you do expand. And you hear voices or have thoughts like this. This stretches me. This opportunity, this next level stretches me. This is bigger than my old identity. I am becoming. This discomfort is capacity building. Do I really have capacity for this? Can you notice that different thoughts, the different voice when you're at the activated expansion and contraction? The contraction is more about fear. People may judge. What if I fail? And then, but at the activated expansion, the voice is more about, do I have the capacity for this? I know I'm becoming. I know this expansion and it stretches me. I'm scared, but I'm available for this expansion. But here is the subtle limitation. There can still be activation. In other words, there can still be performance energy. In other words, if expansion feels like I have to rise to this now, I need to prove I can hold this, I must not lose this now. After you expand, energetically, yes, your flow increases because your field expands. Your field is still open, but it can become unstable flow. You can receive more, yes, but you may also overcommit, overextend because of that fear of not able to maintain that consistent outcome, that consistent result. So flow increases. You receive more, but it may not anchor. It is not stabilized. Activated expansion increases your capacity, but it can still carry tension. So it becomes, yes, you receive more, but you cannot sustain it long term. And so, over time, your results shrink back to your familiarity. This is activated expansion. So activated expansion, can you feel, is that it's more open. You did receive, you do see results, but at the same time, there's fear of losing this new outcome. The effort in maintaining this new outcome. And so there is tension. There is fear. There is doubt. Even after you expand. So even initially the flow open, your field open, your expansion activated, you receive more. Over time, it just couldn't hold and it shrink back the flow Shrink back to your reducing capacity, back to your familiar safe zone. Now we have the third response when you encounter your threshold. This is neutrality. Neutrality is where things change fundamentally. Neutrality is when you're at this threshold. You remain open and grounded. It is a regulated presence. Neutrality is not numbness. So neutrality, voice, or thoughts sounds like this. This is here. This is new. Okay. Let's see what unfolds. From neutrality, you don't judge, you don't label good or bad. You don't dramatize expansion. There's no effort in trying to expand, in forcing yourself to expand, in forcing yourself to grow, in maintaining your becoming. From neutrality, you don't resist contraction. You simply observe. Neutrality says, this is a threshold. My body is adjusting. Can you feel from neutrality your thoughts and your energy feels different? It's more bland, more neutral, no emotional charge, no fear involved, no projection involved. That you can call it a bit bored, but this is neutrality. Because your mind don't add story. You don't shrink your capacity when you encounter your threshold. And neutrality is where identity rewrites safely. It is that bridge between contraction and expansion. No body tightening. No energy field collapsing. Your field stay coherent. Your body feels safe to receive and hold more naturally. Can you feel that contrast, contraction? Your energy field contract, thoughts are mostly fear-based. It is tightening inwards. Your body tightens. Activated expansion, you still feel discomfort, you still feel a bit tightening, but at the same time, you are also open. You're available. And your thoughts are more about future. This is my becoming. About, can I maintain it? Do I have the capacity? This is still tension. And so even you receive, naturally, it couldn't stabilize, it will shrink back your flow. Neutrality is simply just no fear. Just pure open, pure sentiment. Just, this is it. This is new. A bit blank, a bit bored, no emotional charge. So coherence at neutrality. It means all part of you agree when you're at your threshold. Your mind is not racing, no thoughts. Your body is not tightening. Your energy field doesn't tighten. Your inner child is not panicking. So energy flows smoothly. No energy spikes, no drama, no energy leaks, no field distortion. You are not reacting to expansion when you are at the threshold. You are integrating expansion when you are at your threshold. And neutrality, at your threshold, expand your receiving because it increases your holding capacity without triggering defensive patterns. This is the contrast. Contraction at your threshold says, I cannot hold this. So you doesn't allow it in. Self-sabotage, pushing it away. Activated expansion at threshold says, I am learning to hold this. Which means you still not hold it yet. You are learning to hold it. You are exerting an effort. You are maintaining it. And so, it's not held yet. Neutrality says, I already hold this. Can you feel so much more calm, grounded, certain? And your perspective at each threshold, your response at your threshold, every time you encounter your threshold determines what feels safe, what feels threatening, what feels available, what feels too much. And from your perception, you take aligned action, not forced action, not strategy, but identity aligned action. Action that comes from your identity. And your identity determines your capacity. So, example, let's say more money comes in and your system meet a threshold, right? So stay open as I share this example and tune into your body. Perspective at this threshold that leads to body contraction, feel contraction, which means imagine more money comes into your bank account now. And your system meet a threshold. And you feel tightness. Your body tighten. And then you have thoughts like this. Now I have to maintain this. And then you spend unconsciously to return to that familiar amount. It is so stressful to maintain the consistency. Can you feel the activated nervous system here when more is received? And it is a system that is auto, natural, reducing you, shrink you back to your familiar amount that your system feel normal, feel familiar, feel safe to receive. Okay, so this is your perspective at the contraction threshold. Now the same situation. Let's say more money come into your bank account now. And now you feel tightened, but yet you also feel open. So you feel there's a subtle tightness, subtle tension, but at the same time you feel joyful about it, you feel relieved, you feel happy, right? So perspective in this activated expansion now becomes So, because you are not fully contract, you know this expansion, you receive it. So there's the openness. And your thoughts become, now you work harder to maintain it. You monitor your bank account more often. You put pressure on yourself to stay consistent for fear of not having this amount. Can you sense the activated nervous system here again? Even when you receive more, even you're in expansion already. But it is a system that is putting more effort, exerting effort to hold it from the fear of not able to hold it. This is the activated expansion response at a threshold. Now, same situation, more money flow into your bank account now. Perspective at the same threshold, but this time you feel calm, you feel grounded, you feel neutral. It is okay. This is okay. Yeah, this is here. Can you feel the contrast? Nothing is activated in your nervous system here. Your body is just neutral, calm, open, not managing anything. No effort in trying to hold the expansion. No effort in thinking how to maintain it. No effort in trying to hold it. And no shrinking back inwards also. It's more calm, neutral, rounded. So from contraction, you always react. From neutrality, you respond. From neutrality, you can choose expansion. So in closing, why your perspective can change, flow, and expand your receiving. So you encounter your threshold. Your perspective at this threshold determines your interpretation. That's what this means. And so your interpretation determines your nervous system state, whether your contraction, activated expansion, or neutrality. So if your nervous system is activated, your field contract in order to protect your own identity, which limit your receiving. So your nervous system state determine your field openness. How open is your energy field for receiving? And your field openness determines the energy flow. If your field is open, energy can flow. If your field is narrow, energy flow less. And your energy flow, how much energy flow determines your receiving capacity. Then, the focus is no longer how do I expand. It is when expansion happens, what does my body do? When I'm at the threshold, when you are at the threshold, you feel the stretch. The stretch happens. Does my body tighten? Do I overthink? Do I suddenly want to withdraw? Do I unconsciously underestimate, want to shrink myself? Or do I remain open, curious? And your body will tell the truth faster than your mind. Can you see? When you encounter your threshold, the key is to notice your body. Observe your thoughts. Your thoughts are more about contraction to protect you, or activated expansion to maintain you, or neutrality that can hold you. Before any of your mind stories, interpretation come in. And if you choose to remain open and neutral at your threshold, not managing your contraction, not managing expansion, your receiving capacity naturally expands and you become coherent energy field. Remember, your expansion does not happen when you force your life to grow. It happens when your identity grows safe enough to hold more. Remember, the version of you who can remain neutral in the face of your expansion is the version of you who can finally receive without losing yourself. Hence, the mastery, your mastery, our mastery, have now become this. When you reach a threshold, you recognize it. Instead of reacting, you regulate your presence. No need to avoid contraction, or no need to force expansion. And that moment of regulation of your presence is what upgrades your identity safely. That naturally expand your receiving capacity, because you have just naturally recalibrated your energy field to coherent state that just allow receiving. And when you're ready to recalibrate your identity to your next level of self-love and abundance, I invite you to explore different experiences with me at my website, thedoricaexperience.com. With this, thank you for your time and energy in this video. Thank you for being here, being open to receive this transmission, and allowing this video, this transmission, to meet you where you are at your life right now. Thank you and bye-bye.